Well, you know, that was what I was going to tell you about. Like, I want to tell you the story about my friend Edith. Edith was the first person whose cancer I ever saw get cured with this, what we're doing right here, see? That was in 1993. And back then, I was still doing my seminars, which I used to teach seminars in professional and personal development. And Edith was the director of tourism for Galveston's, and Galveston paid for her tuitions, which were thousands of dollars. Like my seminars were like, some of them were like $6,000, $12,000 a couple for a relationship course.
Oh.
You know, that was what we used to do. See, before we discovered that people cure these things, and we started doing this. So we changed what we do, you know. But anyway, so Edith was coming in on the cusp of this when I was experimenting with this. I didn't even know, actually, that you could cure cancer. And what happened was, Edith was one of my clients, you know. Galveston paid for her courses. You know, the city, you know Galveston, it's a city in Texas.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. So Galveston, she was the director of tourism, and it paid for her courses. And she had 3 boyfriends.
Wow.
And she was 67.
Wow.
And she wanted to get. She was a real Texas girl, Edith.
Oh, okay. Sounds like it.
Yeah, she was 2 blazing 6 guns, you know. And she wanted to get married, and she didn't know which boyfriend to marry. She couldn't figure out who to choose. So she called me up and asked me to do sessions with her, private sessions, that she would pay for herself. And I didn't do private sessions. I only did the seminars. But suddenly I thought to myself, oh my God, you know, I can do this. I can use this as an experiment. You know, I'll do these sessions with Edith like she's asking for, and we'll do this stuff that you and I are doing, and see what happens. You know, I'll learn more about it that way. And so I started doing, you know, these sessions with her. Twice. We were seeing each other twice a week, and we figured, you know, if we went a few weeks, we'd be fine. You know, she'd figure out which boyfriend to pick. It was sort of like doing a short-term therapy, really, you know. And we were moving all kinds of things, and she was getting clearer and clearer and feeling more focused, and like that, you know, she was able to pick a boyfriend. So she comes in, and she says, like, this was about the 3rd session, right, we had. She comes in, and she says, I have cancer and I'm going to die. She said, because it's my 2nd breast cancer, and the doctor gave me a 40% chance, and I'm 67 and I'm going to die. I'm not going to marry anybody. I'm just going to die. That was what she said. So I said, no, let's just try to, you know, to remove the cancer. I didn't know what to do, you know. I mean, we were removing all these other things. It's exactly like what you're doing. You're removing all these other things, right? Well, we already were, because we were trying to figure out what guy she was going to marry. So I said, let's remove things, you know. And so I said, let's remove the cancer. So we started removing the cancer from the bodies, and I just said to her, keep the cancer out of the bodies. I didn't know what else to do. That was all I knew to do right there. I didn't even know if that was going to work. So she started her chemo. The doctor gave her a 40% chance with the chemo that she was doing. Well, she had terrible, terrible medication allergies. Just awful. I mean, it was killing her. The medication was killing her. Well, this was 1993. They probably have better drugs now, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know? But anyway, so I said, well, I don't know, you know, just let's keep removing the cancer. Well, Edith... So the next session, this was after, you know, the session where she was taking the chemo. The next session, Edith comes in and she's crying. She comes into the session and she immediately started crying hysterically. So I said, okay, what's wrong? And she said, well, I threw my medication away. She said, because I couldn't stand it anymore. It was really bothering me. You know, she was a very gutsy person. Edith.
Right.
You know, she wasn't going to lay down for anything, so she said, I just threw it away. She said, I threw it in the toilet. And she said, and then I drove over and I told my son I threw away my medication. Her son was a doctor.
Right.
So she said, I went over to my son's office and I told him that I threw my medication away. And she said, he screamed at me for an hour. He was yelling and cursing me and telling me I was going to die. And then he sent me back to my doctor. He called up my doctor and he ratted me out. And so I went to my doctor, and she said, my doctor told me I'm going to die. There's nothing they can do now. Nothing else is going to work. But he gave me another medication. So the doctor gave her a different medication, but he told her, now you're probably not going to make it at all.
Right.
And anyway, from there, the other medication was fine. She had no allergies to it.
Yeah, I was about to ask that, yes.
Yeah, she was okay. She seemed totally fine. And we kept having sessions for several weeks more, during which time she recovered from the cancer completely.
Excellent. That is so good news.
And that's right. And this was 1993, November 1993, I guess. And so she picked one of the guys and got married. And, I didn't hear from her for a long time. And then Greg was talking to one of her other sons. She had these really tall, handsome sons, The other one was a trail guide for corporations. He did corporate trail guiding. And I don't know why Greg was talking to him, but he told Greg that Edith died. And this was like 5 years or so after the whole thing with the cancer. And it seems that she had gotten married and she'd lived quite a while, but we didn't realize that you had to check yourself for other diseases.
Oh, I understand. Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And she dropped dead of a heart attack.
Oh, dear.
And we never even tested her for a heart attack, and she never had a chance to try to... Heart attacks are the kind of thing you got to keep on that, and test yourself when you get older, because... they could just sneak up on you and you wouldn't ever have a chance to access about it. I'll tell you another story. I had a friend who was really helping people. He was one of our assistants. And he cured a lot of people, this guy. He used to talk to a lot of people, and they cured respiratory illnesses. He had cured COPD. And he dropped dead from taking an over-the-counter pharmaceutical that the FDA recalled with beer.
Okay.
Like his roommate found him dead in his chair, and it was this a weight loss preparation.
Oh, right, yes.
Something he had a pot belly. He wanted to lose weight. I had talked to him that morning.
Right.
And he was fine.
Right, so you talked to him. Yeah,
he was totally fine. But one of the side effects, the reason the FDA recalled this drug, one of the side effects was heart attacks.
Oh.
God, that's why they recalled it. It gave people heart attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So, I'm just giving you a little, background on some things here. Some things I want you to know. Yes, sir. This is the home page of CureDrive.org. The large movie with the woman's picture is the one that you must follow all the directions in. It will play automatically when you go to CureDrive.org. And if you need further help, my phone number, area code 813-672-3419. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.